Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams Gadget tutorial. We've got to the movers and output section, the pink section, and the first gadget in there is the gyroscope. Here it is here. Right, this is a movement gadget. What this does, a gyroscope helps you orientate things so that they always stay upright, and that's what this does. This will move your object into its upright position, and you can choose your upright position with a gizmo within the gyroscope. So to select what object you're affecting, you've got two options. Like many gadgets, you can snap to the object, so R2, L1, let go of R2, and there it is, it's snapped to your block. Or you can go into the second page of the gyroscope menu and use this wire, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to select my block that way, and you see that little sucker thing and the wire. So now that gyroscope is going to be affecting this object. Right, so if we select the gyroscope now, you'll see the gizmo. This is an arrow that selects which way is up. And you can move this around. You can orientate this around the object like this and change the direction of what up is. We'll keep it with the direction of this red arrow, this side of the block. And we're going to turn our block so that it's not upright. And I'm going to put it in play mode. And there. The gyroscope is turning our block. Let's turn it the other way. As soon as I let go, it orientates our block upwards. Now if I change this to a movable object and change the orientation, you'll notice the gyroscope does nothing. The gravity is more powerful than the gyroscope, and it does not orientate itself. It can do, but it doesn't orientate itself to up. Gravity takes over, so it does not work with a movable object. As soon as I make this a non-movable object, we immediately get an orientation, so that is now upright. So bear that in mind, it only works with non-movable objects. It also does not work if you try to scope into, say, a puppet. I did try it with this block in a puppet's hand and it just fell to the floor. It has some limitations, shall we say. But let's have a look at the tweak menu and see what it does do. Right, so we know that we can change the direction of up, but we can also change the speed of which this gadget moves the object into its up position. So at the moment, this is the speed. Let's slow it down. So now it's turning, but a lot slower. So that's the speed of this turn. And you'll notice there's a slight rocking motion before it gets and settles in its right position. Let's make this a lot speedier. Let's make it really fast. Okay, that'll do. Let's turn our block. And much more violent swinging motion backwards and forwards, but it was a much faster return to the upright position. Now these sliders down here also affect the speed and that rocking motion, because this is the strength and the overall damping of that movement. So if we put the strength really high, not to 100, just a little bit lower than that, boom, really quick. You notice the speed and the strength of it means that immediately goes into, snaps into into position. You've still got a slight rocking, but it's pretty much there. Now watch what happens when I do it at 100%. You get this weird jiggy jig. If you don't want that, and I'm suggesting you probably don't, I wouldn't put it on 100. I'd leave it at 99 as the maximum for that strength, because that's a bit of a weird motion at 100. So I wouldn't do that. This is the damping, and this is going to affect that rocking motion. So if I put it down really low, there we go. And if I put it up really high, you notice there was no rocking motion. Let me put the strength down, because that will show up. Okay, let's put it down really low and turn it and let it go. Right, lots of rocking before it gets to the top. If I put it up really high, it turns, and so it's smooth. It gives you a lovely smooth into that. You don't get that rocking motion. So this is how you change how this gyroscope will move your object. So you've got the speed, the strength, and the overall damping, and all of these will affect that rocking motion, the speed, and whether it snaps to it or not. So you need to do all three of these to get the motion that you want for the gyroscope. Now this button here, align all axes, this adds in the X and the Z coordinates. Now the Z isn't actually changeable, isn't movable. You really only have the X and the Y, but now I can orientate the face of my cube as well as just as the upright. So let's change it so that it's facing that blue one, but I don't want that cube facing me. I want to see the red one. Am I going to be able to do that? So we change the orientation to that there. So we've got the blue. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it. There we go. So I can see the red. This is what I want, the orientation. Okay, so let's turn it off. Okay, and turn it back on again. We get the red. Let's turn it off. Let's move it around. So we've got the green one. Turn it on. It's orientating itself. You see it's turning. So I can see the red one. And that. Oh, right. So there we go. See, that's how you can orientate your object. So you've got options on not just the up, but also the way it's rotated. There you are. That's the gyroscope. That's all it does. So I hope that was useful for you. I'm not 100% sure what you would use it for, but it has quite a few uses, I believe, when you're creating physics and generating vehicles and things like that. Gyroscope can be quite important. So there we go. There's a gyroscope in Dreams. Thank you for watching. I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you in your dreams.